What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. All right. So, in this video, I'm just going to do a quick video. I've been kind of busy today. Today's my birthday. Yay. So, I'm spending some time with the family and some stuff. And, you know, everybody's talking about a lot of things when it comes to the updates and the changes. Not just one person. I'm not going to call any specific person. But it's like, you guys don't know the numbers. You don't know how the numbers work. So let the real people who crunch numbers do the work. And you guys just stick to, like, you know, how it works. Don't mess with the numbers. That's not your forte. It's not your shit. You're not good at it. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Stop. Stop. Okay. Very important here. Okay. When we talk about resistance, I only have on this tune, as it stands, 11k resistance with 1320 in crit. And the only reason I have it, because it's in my CP system currently. I could drop if I can take away the critical resistance, redivert the CP system. And I'm talking about the new CP system. You have to understand what gear makes up and, you know, how this is all going to work. Because you only have X amount of points and ways to accumulate, you know, what you're going to be trying to do, right? But when we talk about critical resistance, right? Well, it's right there. This is the critical resistance. So resistance is right here. A lot of times people put it into over here in the warrior into the steed, rediverting for the critical resistance, right? That's what they do. But when you actually divert to the base damage, when you put up your physical and spell resistance, you're cutting their base damage down. Now they have to use what? Penetration to do more damage. We know this in PvE and PvP. So that's why even in PvP, what trait do we use? We use Sharpen. Even as a spellcaster, we use Sharpen. Why? Because there's so much resistance, it's affecting our damage, right? And with the heavy armor meta, they are running at over 20k. So even if we hit a crit, they're taking it like a normal damage. Not like a standard. Because when I take a look at crit, it usually deals, I'm just kind of guessing, I want to say not quite double. It's, you know, it's about 90% or something like that. It's slightly off. Okay. So let me go ahead. For example, you'll see 4493 is my crit. There's 428. There's 23. 23 is my base. See, the 2 4s are my whatever, and then the 4 is my crit. It doesn't have resistance, so it's hitting it for the full amount. That's why I'm doing it on this. I don't have to, basically I'm showing what the full amount is for the damage versus the what it's dealing. Because when I go into the tooltip, right, it's dealing 14,952 over 10 seconds. Now you take that, divide it by 10, and that's the 2,300 and something that it's doing. When it crits, it doesn't divert from the base. It's just adding to the factor. Okay? So it's still going to deal that 14,000 regardless. Anything over that is the critical value. So it's almost double the effect. But when I cut, if that thing had resistance, that thing would absorb half the base damage and half the critical damage. So that's what I'm trying to say. You're basically, when you're using Impen, let me switch tunes. When you're using Impen, you're cutting down on the amount of critical damage that you're taking. That's what you're doing. That is essentially what you're doing. But crit is never 100% guaranteed. Base damage is always guaranteed, right? So when you resist base damage, you're affecting critical damage as well. So what I said, I've been gone 2 years, and we have people who don't even understand that concept. That is problematic. That's what I say. Leave the people who know the numbers to the numbers. Stick to your forte. Please don't pretend that you understand. Because let me tell you something. If you do 0 base damage, how much are you critting for? 0. Your crit derives from base damage. Okay? It's just that simple. Okay? It's a percentage of the base damage. So it's almost double, basically. Your crit, the critical value is double of your base damage, pretty much. Slightly off, slightly, but it basically in a nutshell. So listen, I just showed you I have 11k on on my Nightblade. This dude, he's in light armor, sitting at 21,000 spell. And physical. I have basically they gave me free crits is what this is now. I didn't put any in crit. I took away all the critical resistance from this dude, except one piece. I think I got one piece. Sorry. One piece left of Impen. I'm not using Impen. Impen is dead. It's been dead for a year. You guys just couldn't let go of it. You couldn't let go of it. Most of the tanks that you see in PvP don't even wear Impen. They wear Sturdy. Why? For block reduction. They wear well-fitted for dodge rolls or Sturdy. Maybe a few infused pieces. No Impen. 0. And yet, they're almost unkillable. Why? Because their resistance is so high. Their base resistance is so high. Not their critical. That 1444 is going to take off. So I was dealing 4,000. If I got hit for the 4,000, right? 1,444 is coming off. So I'd get hit with 3,000 if I didn't have spell or physical resistance. Basically, it would do the critical resistance is a deducting modifier from how much crit damage I'm going to be taking. But when my spell and physical resistance is exceeding, most people in PvP can only go up to about 10 to 12. That's if they run Sharpen, that's if they're running light armor, and that's also if they're running, Ellie, like Ellie Drain or something for, spell penetration. So, and then you can run the Lover. So you can get, a total of 4, 8, 10. You can get up to almost about 14, 15. 15. That's how you have to kill people that have that much resistance. That's how you have to. Because if they have this much resistance, basically they're cutting down your base damage and then thus effectively cutting out the critical damage as well. Because why? Because your crit is going to double the base. So if they're cutting out the base damage, it ineffectively affects the crit. Impen's been dead. I just don't know why people haven't picked up on it. They haven't picked up on it. It's a numbers game. Okay, it's a numbers game. Is Impen going to be fixed by next update with these champion systems? No. Yeah, they're nerfing heavy armor, but they're not nerfing the resistance. They're not changing Nirnholm. I'm using Nirnholm. I'm going to be using Nirnholm. I'm going to be using this. 244. My shoulders are still Impen. 124. I'm getting double the cut and damage resistance. It's like, you guys are so disappointing. You guys don't even crunch the numbers correctly. And if you guys ain't subbed to me, I don't know why. I don't know why. Because all the other content creators, woof, went over their heads. All of them. But why do I know this? Been doing this for a long time. I've been testing for companies for a long time, and I used to work with these type of numbers before. Well, not damaged numbers, whatever, but I took, my economics background and then applied it in the gaming world. So, there you guys have it. I don't know what to tell you, man. I have no idea what to tell anybody. When they nerfed Impen, they killed it. They literally, essentially killed Impen because they took Nirnholm and added physical when it was just spell. That was a telltale sign. Once again, people just wasn't paying attention. As always, I'm your boy, Mystic Raven. This is Mystic's MMOs. Peace.